Hello, this is Freeman. The A stands for anarchy in the true sense of the word, which means no rulers, not no rules. And I'm back on Holistic Radio with Andy Zampagan of the Dale for another knowledge nugget. But this one is a special nugget, and it's a music with a message nugget. We've done one of these so far, which was about my anarchy song, where I basically talked about that myself. But in a much better format today, in my opinion, but we'll see, because this is the first one of these now. We've got the lovely JennyLuscombe with us today, who has basically picked out one of my musics with a message and is going to share with us why she chose that song. How are you doing, Jen?
Hello. Yeah, I'm doing fine, thank you.
Excellent. So just tell us which song you've chosen for today.
Yeah, so I've chosen Life Online from the No More EP.
Ah, cool. Okay. It's nice to see that one coming round again, because I haven't played that one for a while. So, of course, Life Online is like LOL, which was part of the wordplay with that one, as laugh out loud as well. But tell us, why did you pick that song particularly? What was it about it that stood out for you?
Well, I think it popped up kind of on random when I was walking around the park and I was feeling a bit melancholy. And it just struck me how, because I think you call it a song of realization.
Yeah.
I saw on your Bandcamp, and I'm quite drawn to music with a message anyway, like generally. And I think that your lyrics in this song just demonstrate really well what humanity are in. And because I'm a facilitator of healing, I think it's really important to see what you're in order to move through it and then heal it. So yeah, this about the Facebook generation specifically, it brought back a memory of, and I think it was round about 2004 when Facebook first started, and it just brought back the memory of when that first started and the fuss that it caused and how everybody loved it and that ego hit, that kind of like the open wound of humanity, which it basically exploited in a way. I just thought it was just a sign of our times. Yeah.
Cool, thanks. It's good to know that, when you create whatever, writing. I mean, you were into writing, right? Whenever we create, anything written or artwork or music or whatever. I don't know about you. I mean, what do you think about your works? Because I always think of my songs as kind of my babies, that I've brought into the world. Yeah.
Yeah, I completely agree. And I think I might have talked to you about this before. Like when I first started writing, and I was doing a course, and I just thought that people would be interested in what I was writing and that they would move towards it and kind of encourage me and want to celebrate that with me. But I was wrong. And like when you're in that creation bubble, obviously we want other people to get involved and have a look at what we're doing. But people are not always that interested. I mean, I had another friend who writes, and he would read my stuff and I would read his, but nobody would read his stuff either. So yeah, they are your babies, and getting feedback about your babies is really important. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that, because I wondered for a while if it was just me. But I think a lot of us kind of amateur creatives, we're not signed to any labels or big production houses or marketing agencies or anything, obviously. So we kind of just do it ourselves. But yeah, like you, I've always, I remember years ago, I'd send a cassette tape, of my very amateur home recordings, back then in the late yeah, probably mid-90s kind of time. You know, I send them to my dad, like 10 songs on a cassette or something, you know. And then he's not with us anymore, but and then the next time I speak to him, I say, "Oh, what do you reckon of the songs then, Dad?" "Oh, what songs?" He said. I say, "You know that cassette I sent you?" "Oh yeah, no, that. Oh no, I haven't had time to listen to that yet." And I'm like, "But Dad, you're retired. You know what?" Like, what are you? Anyway, yeah, I used to find it strange that the people I really cared about, like my immediate family and friends and stuff, yeah, they just didn't seem to take any notice or give a shit about anything I did like that, and of course, if you are creative, like you just said, you would read your friend's work and he would read yours because you both know what it's like, right? To write it and it to disappear into the void and of oblivion, you know? Right? So I think any of us who do it, we like to read each other's stuff, you know. I do, and I like to hear other people's original works, you know. Because I used to say, you know, back 2006, I had a band in Ipswich where I was living at the time, and we had a really good local music scene, you know. And we were playing, and there'd be a bunch of our favorite other bands locally, you know, and we'd all go and see each other. I mean, you know, the music was great. And I thought, this music's better than anything I've heard on the radio for like 5 years, you know. But they're all amateur local guys just doing it for the love of it, you know, often playing to not many people. But the music was great, you know, and it was well played. And I think there's this thing in society generally where unless it's on like TV or Spotify or something like well known, it's like people don't value it as much as if they see it in their local pub. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. I think it's part of the artist's way, isn't it? It's part of the journey is creating for the love of it, um, and then letting it go.
Yes. Yeah.
It is also, I think it's kind of by design, that like the design of the universe that sometimes immediate family and friends don't necessarily align with your creative self. They'll
Yeah. Yeah.
align with you in other ways, and I think that's a setup. I think the universe set us up to, but you know, bust open the codependence wound, which interestingly is what this song is about, really, isn't it?
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
It's about that kind of human way of having these wounds kind of connected to comparison and competition and codependence and inadequacy and all of that. And like everybody's need for external validation, which obviously comes from childhood and all the agendas, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I like how this demonstrates how the social separation happened.
Cool. Cool. Yeah. And I'm glad you brought up this sort of the enlightenment and the awakening issue because that's what you find, isn't it? You know, when we're younger, we tend to get all hurt and upset and, oh, well, you know, why don't my dad listen to my stuff? You know, all these childhood wounds come out kind of thing. And because we're looking for external validation, right, from outside of ourselves. And we get offended and all these emotional things. But of course, as we grow and mature and become more enlightened, hopefully, and we get on the path, you know, we realize that it's nothing outside of us is going to make us happy. You know, all the answers to bliss and happiness are within. You know, and it's when we go within that we find that connection to the source, and we get the love, the unconditional love from the universe, right? Which for me is where a lot of these downloads of music and things seem to come from, because, you know, I don't think it's so much that, you know, someone who paints necessarily just makes that painting up, you know. It's almost like we're channeling creative energy from the source or something through ourselves, you know, and onto the canvas or onto the tape or whatever it is, you know, or into the guitar, you know. So I find that really interesting because I look back at a lot of the songs I've written and I'm thinking, you know, like, how did I write that then? When I, It's like when I wrote it, I didn't even understand what I was saying. And now I listen to it and I think, oh yeah, now it makes sense, you know.
Yeah.
But it didn't
I
even
find
make
that,
sense to me then, you know.
yeah, that's the same as my shows. Because like I think it was Andy said, I was remember talking to Andy once and saying it's weird how I will do my show and then 2 weeks later I really need what I said in that show. Like a self-fulfilling prophecy kind of thing. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, what's great about your shows is it's like you're channeling live while you're speaking on your show and you're having realizations in the moment as you're talking, right?
Yeah, yeah,
You know,
sometimes, yeah.
and I know you do preparation and sorry, what?
No, go on.
Yeah, no, it's like I know you do preparation and make notes and stuff and plan, but for us listening, many times we've said, "Oh, Jen's show was great." You know, it's like she's awakening live on the radio. You know, yeah. So yeah, it's like that with the music, and yeah, it's like it comes through us. So I'm glad you've brought that up because I've largely let go of expecting, like you say, anyone close to check out my tunes. And one of my mates, Jim, he also makes music, and he listens to my stuff, and I listen to his, like you and your friend who write, and that's cool. And it's the same when I'm playing live. I always say if you just connect with one other human being who gets what you're saying, it's nice. It's you have to do it for the love of doing it and for your own happiness and fulfillment and enjoyment, which I do. But it is nice when you can kind of connect with someone else and they say, "Oh, I really get this song," or whatever, like you have with this song.
Yeah, yeah. And that, like, self-expression is like a huge part of self-knowledge, I think. Because I quite often, like, whatever form of self-expression, I quite often catch myself realizing something in the moment of expressing it. So I know that I wouldn't necessarily have got to that if I hadn't expressed it.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I love the active way of it. Yeah.
Yeah. And we were chatting the other day, right, about something. And through chatting it through, we both realized that we'd had exactly the same experience, but in slightly different ways, right? And we didn't even realize until we talked about it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing. So, do you have a kind of is there a particular line of the lyrics that jumped out at you when you first heard it? I think you texted me one of the lines, so I'm guessing it might be that one.
Yeah, I really like self-indulgent smog. Self-indulgent cyber smog and feeding upon the feed, I think you say, which is just makes so much sense and it's so sinister. It's so precise. Yeah.
It is it is kind of sinister, isn't it? And it makes you then wonder, why did they call it a feed?
Yeah, I'm sure that's intentional. I'm sure it is.
You
Because,
know what?
like people devour it, don't they? They can't wait
Yeah,
to get home from work and get their notifications. It's like, it's feeding. It's weird. Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
I don't have any of that kind of social media anymore because I binned it all off in 2020 when everybody started fighting with each other about everything.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I don't miss it at all.
No, I get you. And of course, when we say people come home and they can't wait to, let's be honest, we've been those people, right?
Oh
So,
yeah, totally.
and sometimes I'll be honest, I lapse back into some of that, with Telegram. I'm looking, oh, I wonder if anyone's messaged me and stuff like that.
Mm,
Um, but like you, I don't do any of the Meta products. I don't use WhatsApp. I don't use Instascam or Facebook, as I call them. I think the other one for Facebook is Tracebook, isn't it? Which I quite like. So you
yeah,
always know where you are and what
yeah.
you're into. But yeah, I don't have those feeds anymore. And even on SoundCloud, there is a feed. every day they're feeding you new songs. And I want to get my songs into those feeds, but I don't listen to any of the feeds, I've just got a few favorite other amateur artists whose stuff I like, and I check out their stuff. I get notifications when they release something. But there's just so much content everywhere on every platform, and it's just impossible to. And I think it does cause a lot of anxiety for a lot of people who get hooked into that. And we've all been there at some point, as I say. So I'm not saying I'm any different in that way to anyone else who's got addicted to a feed for a while in their lives, But I'm happy to say it's not like that anymore. So yeah, cool. Well, we're going to play the song to finish this little nugget. But how would you feel about actually reading the lyrics like a poem?
Yeah, I can do that.
All right. Can you hear the rain, by the way?
Is it raining there?
It's just started pouring with rain. Oh, and Harry the lizard's just running down my window as well. But as long as he looks funny because he's like on the window but on the outside, so I can see his belly and everything coming through. But as long as you can hear the rain coming over the mic, that's okay. Yeah, if you don't mind reading it, that would be lush.
Okay. Where can I find the lyrics?
So I posted a link in the group, in the Holistic Radio group chat, to the web page for the song, and the lyrics are down towards the bottom of the web page there. That's probably the easiest. So if anyone's listening back and they want to check out the lyrics, yeah, they're on this link, the Life Online page link that I've shared there. And then I've shared the SoundCloud version of the song as well, if you want to have a listen. But yeah, it's because there's various ways of writing a song. Sometimes you start off with the music and then you put the words, you come up with words later that go to the music, or sometimes you write a kind of poem and then you put music to that, or sometimes you've got a bit of music and you've got some words and your little voice says, oh, maybe those will go together, and you put them together and you get a song. But I think the best songs, it all comes together, the words, the music, everything all just comes at the same time. So Life Online isn't one of those. I mean, Life Online is actually the result of merging a couple of poems that I'd written quite a few years before. And one was called The Facebook Generation, and the other one was called The Lost Art of Conversation. And I actually took most of those words and put them together and put them to this little tune that I had at the time, and that's how the song came about. So, but yeah, if you've got the lyrics there, Jen, fire away.
Yeah, okay, I've got them. Okay, so Life Online. We are lost in social separation. We forgot we're all one. What's the cost of the Facebook generation? Craving cool, indulgent fun. But where's the sun? Locked inside, we hide, staring at the screen, sharing shots of where we'd been. Life online, no sunshine. All our dreams turned to memes. All hooked up, plugged into the network, as we feed on the feed. All fucked up, desperate for attention. But on transmission, not receive. Can we believe what we receive? See the places that I'd been, and the cool things that I'd seen. Don't you want to be as cool as me, in my cage? I hope you wish that you'd been there, but where you were, I just don't care. Just want your comment, like and share on my page. So as we comment, like and share, sat in our rooms in our underwear. Real freedom is becoming rare. The social fabric we all tear. Our time is typing trivia into cyberspace oblivia. Big pharma binge on our poor health. Big banks are stealing all our wealth. We drink and snog and post and blog. Funny kitten, chasing dog. Balance fallen, off a log. In self-indulgent cyber smog. All plugged into a social site. All dumbed down, mostly sharing shite. Never met our friends in a face-to-face. Our reptilian brains run the human race.
Cool. That was great. You should read poems and stuff more often, I think. It's nice to hear. It's nice to hear it read back, actually. And the bit that jumped out for me when you read that back was all our dreams turned to memes. I remember at the time, like really liking that line.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, cool. Well, thank you, Jen. I wasn't sure what I was going to do with these music with a message sort of nuggets, and I also want to do manuscripts with a message, which is like books I've read that have inspired me, but not ones I've written. And movies with a message, movies and documentaries that have also woken me up to something, or answered a lot of questions. But yeah, with music with a message, I'm being a bit self-indulgent, I guess, by only playing my own songs. But like we say, I don't have a big record company behind me, so that's what I'm doing. But I might include some other music from other people that's along the lines of freedom and the matrix and waking up to it and getting free of it and all of that kind of stuff as well. Yeah.
Well, it's a beautiful way that the universe moves through music, and I think people can hear messages in music more than when people speak it sometimes. I think it has a way of getting in, like a subliminal kind of thing.
Yeah, I guess so, because you can find yourself humming a tune, and then if you really like that tune, you start to find the words creeping in and coming out. Yeah, don't you? So it's quite a good way to. I think comedy as well, music and comedy, they're good ways of getting a message across without just standing there and saying, "Yeah, you're all in the matrix, rah rah rah." Especially when there's a bit of poetry to it. I think it's a nice way of getting something across. Yeah. So thank you very much, Jen, for being my first guest on Music with a Message, Knowledge Nuggets. And unless there's anything else you want to say, I'm going to play the track to finish off the nugget.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for inviting me. But yeah, like I'm really interested in storytelling anyway, and healing through storytelling and learning through storytelling. So yeah,
Excellent.
This really appealed to me for lots and lots of different reasons. So thank you.
All right, well, thanks. And yeah, maybe we'll see you on another one of these in the future then.
Yeah, thank you.
When I've brainwashed you with more of my songs. Lovely. All right, I'm going to play the track then. So this is Life Online by yours truly from a few years ago. Yeah, and it's on all the platforms. It's on an EP called the No More EP, as Jen said. So it's on SoundCloud, on my Bandcamp, Spotify, YouTube, Tidal, all the platforms. And yeah, if you want to get the link to your favorite platform, that's all on the web page I've shared in the chat. Or you can if you're on YouTube, it's at Project Freeman official, and at Project Freeman on Spotify is Project Freeman. So if you search Project Freeman, you should find me. Okay, so this is Life Online. In social separation, we forgot that we're all one. What's the cost of a Facebook generation? Braving cool and indulgent fun, but where's the sun? Locked inside, we hide, staring at the screen, sharing shots of where we be. Life online, no sunshine. All our dreams turn to memes. All hooked up and plugged into the network as we feed upon the feed. All fucked up and desperate for attention. Our transmission not received. Can we believe what we receive? See the places that I've been and the cool things that I see. Don't you want to be as cool as me in my cage? I hope you wish that you'd been there. But where you were, I just don't care. Just want your comment, like and share on my page. So as we comment, like and share, sat in our rooms in underwear, real freedom is becoming rare. The social fabric we all tear. Time is typing trivia into cyberspace, oblivion. Big Pharma, Big John, alcohol, health, big banks, stealing all our wealth. We drink and snort, post and plot, funny kick, chasing dog, balance full and love for law, in self-indulgent cyber smart, all hooked up to a social site, all dumbed down, mostly sharing shite. Never met our friends in face to face. Our reptilian brains run the human race. So thank you guys. That was Life Online. Thanks to Andy Zen Pagan of the Dale for hosting us as usual on Holistic Radio. A big thanks to Jen Luscombe for coming on today and picking out her music with a message. And we'll see you next time on the next Knowledge Nugget.